because you all got a holiday today, and it's just Shivratri. So happy Shivratri to everybody. And I always get excited because, these sessions makes me very strong while either, standing in front of somebody and speak, or it gives me many knowledge having such a guest speakers with us, which will help you to stand firm in your further decisions if you want to do your post-graduation, either it's an MBA or it's your PGDM program. So I would like to give a word of thanks from Delhi School of Business to all of you, welcome you all, and then I would like to turn the time over to Ria Malik from Jesus and Mary College, and she will give the introduction of our guest speaker.
Thank you very much, Rosie ma'am. Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Mercatus, the Marketing Society of Jesus and Mary College, I, Ria Malik, and am extremely delighted to welcome you all to today's webinar on MBA in the industry. I'd also like to take this opportunity to introduce the conductor of today's session, a prolific trainer of communication and leadership, Ms. Richa Dhar. With over 14 years of experience in the industry, Ms. Dhar is an expert in designing and facilitating leadership, training the trainer, and communication training. Ms. Dhar is also a fellow DU graduate with a master's degree in English literature from Hansraj College. Further, she's been certified by international institutions such as the CAMI and the Toastmasters International, USA. Her specializations include emotional intelligence, exchange of feedback, growth mindset, managerial leadership, the art of negotiation, and creative thinking and innovation, among many others. Her training is based on practical takeaways and providing the participants with a hands-on experience in a safe training environment. Ma'am, I am certain I speak for all participants in attendance when I thank you for conducting this session today. It would be an invaluable opportunity for all MBA aspirants to learn more about the field from such an eminent industry leader. With this, I invite you to kindly take over.
Thank you, Ria, for such a nice introduction, and a very good afternoon to everybody here. And again, thank you so much for turning up on a day off, and wish you all a very happy Shivratri and have a blessed year. And today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, and the topic is going to be revolving around MBA and basically what has changed and what is the industry looking forward to from you as the new entrants in the industry in the coming future, right? And what has changed in the last couple of years, and what's different from when your seniors went in and when you're going to go in. So we're going to talk about a lot of these things. But before that, we're going to start with a small activity, and just give me a second while I share my screen. Here's a small activity on the screen for you, and I'll give exactly 1 minute for the entire batch here to write down a very simple answer to the question on the screen. How many squares in the image given below? Type the answers in the chat box. How many squares do you see in the image given below? Now, whether your cameras are open or not, I'll request everyone to write down your answers. And you'll have exactly 1 minute to do that. Okay, we're starting to getting answers. Okay, so from 40 to 35, 36, 27, 26, got 30, 34, 37, 39. So by the way, someone, if they want, they can resubmit the answers as well. Suppose if you write an answer and you see someone else's answer and you get to recalculate, try and submit another answer as well. See, it is not that you have to give only one answer. Okay, Mehak, I can see yours as well, Annie's as well. Sylvie says 27. Chris says 39, 30, a lot of answers pouring in, 32, 38, 30 to 34 squares. So Aprajita is like kind of taking an approximation, plus minus 4. Okay. Sorry, it's 27, Sidra. Okay, got your point. Kopal says 48. Okay. So you've got 48 to 26. A huge range coming here, and the answers are still pouring in. Amazing. Okay, so here's my question to everybody here. I'm not sure if everyone can unmute, but will they be able? Please write your responses in the chat. Here's my question. How many of you know what a square looks like? If you will see square amongst all the various figures in a mathematic, how many of you know what a square looks like? You'll be able to point out, okay, that's a square. You can raise your hand or give me a thumbs up or write a yes in the chat. Any of the three, things will do. Okay. Quite a confident group. Nearly everyone saying yes, raising hands. Equal side. Okay, Tanisha, thank you for sharing the definition with us as well. So great. Nearly everyone says yes, they'll recognize a square when they see one. Brilliant. So here's my question. Why is everyone, thank you, Renu, polygon of 4 equal sides, amazing. I just recently studied polygon in my daughter's mathematics chapter, so I really can relate to that definition as well. Thank you. So here's my question. If we all know, and we are so confident about the technical definition of square, why did everyone get a different answer when you're counting squares in here? You just simply count squares. You all know what a square looks like. Type in your response, another 30 seconds. Why did everyone get a different answers? What is your understanding of why people would have had a different answer? A difference in perception, Ria says that. Okay, what do others think? A very, very valid point, Ria. Difference in how you're looking at the image, What about others? I can see a few people typing in. Because everyone have a different perspective of counting the squares. Everyone has different point of view. Maybe Sakshi, absolutely right. It's not a maybe. That's absolutely correct. Everyone has a different perspective. See, because we don't actually know the number of total squares in the given picture. Absolutely, Aprajita, and that's the question that you have to figure out. Now, this is what we are going to talk about today. Now, okay, let me start with the answer. The answer is 40. The total number of squares are 40. And the challenge is because there are layers and layers of squares. So every time you see one, chances are you will miss the other layer, right? It's not that we don't know what a square looks like. Now, here's my another question. How does this relate to our understanding of industry? Why are we counting squares in a session where we are supposed to talk about MBA and industry? How does this relate to our understanding of industry? So raise your hand for anyone and everyone who has a certain idea what industry expects out of us. Raise your hand. You've heard from your faculty, from your seniors, from your, people from your family who are into, raise your hand, everyone who has a certain idea. Okay, I know what industry expects out of me, what what they're looking for. I know the overall of it. Quite a few, just a few hands. How about the others? Absolutely no clue. Just click on the hand raise button or raise your hand in the camera. That'll do. Now that's a scary picture. It means we have to count way too many squares. Okay, quite a few hands are coming up. Great. So guys, this is what we are going to talk about today. We all have our perception. We all have a worldview which is created by the people and the experiences that we have around us. Some of you may have had your industry internship depending on the course that you're doing, right? So you would have built a certain perception. Now today we are going to talk about a very interesting concept which is called Industry 4.0. That is the fourth industrial revolution, which has taken over the world in the last nearly decade, but particularly in last 2 years, it has just gripped the world. And that's what we're going to be talking about because there are some standard expectations which the corporate is going to have from you. But then now there are certain add-ons, some new squares which we do not have an access to or we don't see because our perspective is still influenced by a traditional mindset, a traditional experience to the industry. And that's what we are going to talk about today is what is Industry 4.0 and how can you prepare yourself for that? What are the skills that you require to be successful? Okay, so I'm going to start by sharing certain data with you. What you see on your screen is the Employability Skills Report by India Skills Report of 2021. This is as recent as it gets. Aparajita writes, there are many options and opportunities which we want to explore, but we don't know which one is the right one since there are layers upon layers of where to go with your career you want to do. Absolutely, Aparajita. I think you've hit the nail on the head. And today, what we are going to talk about is what are the skill sets which can help you irrespective of which industry you will go in right now, right? There are certain very common parameters of skill set which all the industries are looking for. And then, of course, you further go to specialize in your domain, right? So what you see on your screen is the employability skills report from 2015 to 2021, right? So when I say employability, that is how many people that the industry goes when they go to hire, they find are ready for employment, not just qualification wise, but overall personality wise, package wise, are ready for employment. So here's my question. When you look at the numbers here towards the 2021, does it look like a good news or a bad news? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down in the chat. And see, I have tried to accumulate all the courses here. So it's not biased you that one course is covered, right from pharma to MBA, BBA, BCA, BA, everything is covered here. So here's the question. Does it look like a yes, we're doing really good, or it doesn't look like a good report? Thumbs up, yes, I'm really happy with the percentage. Thumbs down, nope, something needs to be done.
Ma'am, if I may say something
Sure.
here. Ma'am, I think overall, it was starting from 2015, the trend is going up. But I think because of the pandemic between 2020 and 2021, all, employability for all courses has gone down. So it's more or less bad news, as the 2021 is coming to.
Okay. So yes, pandemic is definitely a very, very important factor which we can't avoid. It has kind of changed our world overnight. But pandemic is not the only factor. There are a lot of subtle changes which were accumulating over the years, and pandemic has kind of further multiplied them in a situational scenario where now suddenly the situation has changed. And Andrea, very interesting observation that you made here, that this placement has gone down, employability has gone down by a notch, and we're going to be talking about that as well. So here is one question that we're going to do. Just give me a second. I'll request everyone not to write on my screen. I'll be putting a link in the chat. Please click on this link. It will take you all to a website called menti.com. Just a second. And it will open a form for you. And there is a very simple question on that form. And the question is, what are the top 4 skills according to you corporates look in new entrants? According to you, what top 4 skills corporate look for in new entrants? So I'll be sharing my screen as well. So please type on the link in the chat. In case you're facing any challenge in accessing the link, please let me know. And once you click on the link, this form will open in front of you and it'll ask you to enter 4 skills. Right? So let's start by counting how many squares we already know. And right, let's start by counting how many squares we already know. So I'll request you all to type the 4 skills. In case anyone is facing any challenge, all you need to do is, on my screen, you will see menti.com. Type that on any of your devices and type this code 13985650. The moment you type this code, it will take you straight to this form. So I'll give you 2 minutes to think of your answer and write it down. Top 4 skills, according to your understanding of the industry, your knowledge, you think industry looks for in new entrants. Okay, so we have got the first response there. Motivator, graphics designing, public speaking, and researcher. Okay, very interesting combination. Yes, motivator. Public speaking is definitely one skill that the industry looks for. And that doesn't mean that you have to be on the stage like me and the other faculty we do. It can even be the ability to stand up and communicate within your team, in a team meeting, to stand up and present in a boardroom, right? So more public speaking, I'll more put it in a wider perspective, communicating effectively. Absolutely. So motivating, graphic designing, okay, that's if you're getting into a special domain where graphic designing is required, that would really work. Multitasker, yes, that's true. All right, but that comes with a little asterisk conditions apply. We'll talk about that. So we're talking about, okay, a lot of responses have started to come. Efficient with technology. That's a very valid point. Actually, that's a very important point as well. Confidence, absolutely. Teamwork, adaptability, emotional intelligence. Okay, I'm really impressed as emotional intelligence coming from the student side. So I must say I'm really impressed with this group here. And always a pleasure to get back to Delhi University sessions because, there is this kind of connect being an alumni myself. And yes, absolutely, emotional intelligence is one really important aspect, and problem solving, spot on. See, what you will see, there are certain words which are more prominent than the other. These are the words which most of the students have been responding, right? The most common words will become most prominent. So we are talking about public speaking, communications, emotional intelligence, problem solving, absolutely. Soft skills, right? See, soft skills are basically behavioral skills, how you're connecting with people, working in the environment, absolutely necessary, personal, professional, any life. Technical skills we've spoken about, competitiveness, absolutely. You're getting into a world which is extremely competitive. You may be at the top of the game today and tomorrow you have fighting. And right now your competition is from across the world. You no longer work within the geographical boundaries of your country, right? So yes, competition is extremely important aspect of it. Then we have, just a minute. So then we have empathy. Yes, that's a part of emotional intelligence. It'll form a part of emotional intelligence. That's where it comes as connecting with people. Consistency, absolutely a very important word. Data analytics. That's a really important thing. Though it applies very differently in every team, in every department or every field. Yes, but data is the big thing. And we're going to be talking about exactly how it relates to the work as well. And I'll request anyone who by any mistake is just by chance clicking on the annotation, please not to do that. Okay, so we've got quite a few responses here, and I'll request others to also type in their responses. It will stay on the screen. I'll keep the form on in the backend, and you can keep on typing. So I guess we've got enough pointers to understand where the entire group is cumulatively going to. So let's move on to where we were. So this is what we have been what our traditional understanding has been, what the companies expect from us. And this is the top 10 most desirable skill set. And you will see most of these made it to your list, right? So far we are pretty much, we are counting certain squares, which are extremely important, right? So I'll request everyone not to play, zero kata on the screen. I'll also like to join. Unfortunately, I'll not be able to, but please, if there is a small kid at someone's place who's doing it, so I'll request you to stop it. Rosie, just wanted to check how many people have the right to make changes. I believe it's only the 3 of us, right?
Sure, ma'am. I'll check.
Yeah, just if
now
someone has,
sure.
if anyone has an annotation right, can you stop that?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're talking about top 10 most reliable skill. Most of them you've already made it. Problem solving at the top of the game. And teamwork and collaboration, interpersonal communication, leadership, adaptability, curiosity, and general awareness, emotional intelligence. I can understand you're sorry. I'll really appreciate if you will stop doing it. That will be a much better way of saying sorry. Thank you. So, right. So creativity, empathy, and business ethics. I think emotional intelligence, everything you guys covered. Now comes the question, which a while back, I believe Ria had kind of answered for all of us, was the fact that it has been going up and it has started going down. Coronavirus COVID scenario has been a major player in this scenario. But there is one more thing which has changed the game for the world. And that thing is called Industry 4.0. That is the fourth industrial revolution. And here is my question. How many of you have heard this term before, or you're aware of what is the Industry 4.0? Write a yes or no in the chat. You got exactly 30 seconds to do that. And if you have heard what is Industry 4.0 or what is the fourth industrial revolution, write yes. If you haven't, write a no. You got 30 seconds to respond in the chat. Nandini says no. How about others? Okay. Ria Arora has said no. How about the others in the group? So if someone has heard, would like to know. Yes, okay, awesome. I get a big wide yes on my screen. So whosoever it is, I'll request you to write in the chat, not on the screen. Thank you for erasing it yourself. Okay. So mostly people are saying they haven't heard, while there have been a couple of yeses in between, but mostly people have been saying that they've not heard of it. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to be playing a small video on my screen, right? And when you watch this video, it will give you a very brief understanding of what is the fourth industrial revolution in a couple of minutes. And while you're enjoying this video, think about two questions here. One, what do you understand by Industry 4.0? That will be number one. And number two will be, what changes do you expect in the industry expectations in the coming future? So I'll be asking you question number two at the end of this video, right? So what you have to do is at the end of this video in the chat, right, when I'll ask you, what do you expect the industry expectations in the coming future, given the changes that this video explains, right? So you'll have, let's just give me a second while I start the video. And I'll request everyone to write in your digital notepad, or either write in your digital notepad or anywhere else, just a second, or in your notepad to your notes on what you understand from the video about the skill set you will be requiring. And here is the video already. Let me share the sound and the screen, and here you go. Okay.
What is Industry 4.0? What does it mean for you?
Can I get a confirmation if it's audible? A quick thumbs up if it's audible.
Ma'am, if it's possible, you can raise the volume. It's very
right now it's on the full. Let me just try again.
Yeah.
What is Industry 4.0? What does it mean for you?
It's kind of better, ma'am.
Better? Okay, great.
What is Industry 4.0? What does it mean for you? Technology is driving change across all areas of society. Not only do we increasingly use it and even rely on it in our personal lives, we also find our workplaces typically evolving, with more and more processes now being undertaken using technology. This change is known as the Fourth Industrial Revolution, or Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 will see many tasks that were once performed by us now being automated. With the collection and analysis of real-time data, artificial intelligence, and the ability for all components of the production line to talk to it, production can be really efficient and personalized according to customer needs. What does this mean for us? With increased automation, our time will be freed up, concentrating on more complex tasks. We will need a workforce who are capable of building, programming, and developing these technologies, but also making sure we are applying them to our lives in an ethical way. There are core skills that we can offer. Technology cannot replace. The human touch is going to be incredibly important, ensuring effective communication, problem solving, and supporting change management in this digital environment. There will also be a greater need for joint working across disciplines, creating new innovations. The future will be looking for graduates with an open mind to explore the unknown future possibilities. We will all need to develop our skills in order to embrace and adapt to this ever-changing environment. What will you do to make sure you are ready and have the right skills to thrive in the fourth industrial revolution?
Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a very quick video, and here is my question. What are the skills based on the video that you just saw you think you will need? In addition to whatever we discussed previously, leave that out. In addition to that, what are the new skills you think you will need in order to be industry ready in the coming future? You got 1 minute to write your responses in the chat. What are the industry expectations from the new entrants in the coming future? Write in the chat based on whatever you've understood. Couple of things that Ria says, basic understanding of artificial intelligence. Okay, that's one. How about others? Is that the only thing we need in addition to what we just mentioned? Okay, Anshika says a very interesting answer. Interpersonal skills and problem solving skills. Very nice, Anshika. That's, of course, we need to know more of technology. That definitely will be a part of it. You can no longer say that, for example, I'm an HR. I don't have anything to do with technology. No, you have to deal with technology, right? But at the same time, interpersonal skills, problem solving skills, absolutely. How about others? Creative thinking. Ria, spot on. Creativity is going to be the most important skill that everyone will be looking in the participants going forward. One of the key skills that they will be looking forward in all of you. And in fact, your interview questions, whenever you will sit for interview, will be, give me an example of a problem that you solved recently. Give me an example of where you used an innovation and you came up with a creative idea to resolve a situation, a problem, or create something new. So these all things will be a part of your interview questions. Self-management skills, organizational skills. Aparajita, I think you have raised a very important concern, self-management skills, because when you're multitasking, so much of technology is around you, there will be a lot of distraction. So to be able to focus on what is required, your attention and your focus becomes the most important asset for you in your as person. Absolutely. So when we're talking about Industry 4.0, a lot of these things which you've just shared here are already, as a part of the session, are already definitely there. What we are further looking forward is in transdisciplinary skills. It will no longer be that I'm an expert in, let's say, graphic designing, and that will do. It will no longer be that I'm a language expert, so that will do. We are looking at transdisciplinary skills, right? We are looking at people who will be able to, if I'm in HR, but I should be able to work with business. If I'm in finance, I should be able to understand how human response works. Aparajita says, yes, ma'am, that is important since people do tend to lose themselves in the work. Absolutely, Aparajita. So focusing is going to be very important. Transdisciplinary skills are extremely important. I'll give you a very simple example. Till a while back, HR was supposed to be a support function. Till a couple of years back, people used to say HR is support function, finance is support function. But in today's day and age, what we are looking for here is we do not call these things as support function. HR is now a strategic partner. And that it's not just changing a fancy term, we are also changing the expectation from that particular role, right? So now when you are a designer, maybe you're a graphic designer, you're a visual designer, you're not just a designer, you're a problem solver, because you're understanding the market and creating a new designer product that is going to help your business move forward, whether it's your own or whether you're working in an organization, right? Knowledge and aptitude through adaptive and cognitive learning. So continuous adaptation to things changing. And I believe everyone would have seen in the last 2 years, things are changing on day-to-day basis, right? So anyone in all of, I'm sure all of you have people who are working in industry, in a friend circle, seniority, and family. You would have seen it's a day-to-day contingency planning. Things have settled a bit since December last year, but before that, every week there is a new contingency plan being designed. Now what, now what, now what? And that is the kind of adaptability industry is looking for, right? Design thinking. Now, design thinking is something very interesting and very important. It's a new problem solving technique given by Harvard, though the technique is pretty old, nearly a decade old. It's really picked up now. So those who are into graphic designing may be already aware of it. Those who are not, I'll highly recommend going and learning design thinking. It's a 5-step problem solving method, highly effective. And of these days, we are most of problem solving trainings, we are working on design thinking. That's what industry is looking for, right? Collaborative skills, not just with your team, with your clients, with internal vendors, with external vendors, with other departments, with businesses. So we can no longer say, okay, client to sales wale ka kaam hai. And I've heard a lot of people who say, I don't want to go in sales and marketing. Unfortunately, every department now is some sort of sales and marketing, right? You are catering to certain customers, whether they're internal or they're external, right? So you're catering to certain set of customers, and every department now has targets. A lot of people try to get into jobs where, okay, this will not have targets. Sorry, unfortunately, now every department has targets because everything, it's a data-based world, and we spoke about data being the big thing. So you need quantifiable information to decide how much contribution an individual or a department or a system is making to your business. And that's where data becomes extremely important. So collaborative skills and high aptitude for problem solving. So these are some of the core skills that they're looking for. So I'm going to give you all a very interesting term which I came across a while back, and this describes what the Industry 4.0 exactly expects from each and every person who's going to join them. And that's true for everyone here, irrespective of the domain and the department you are in. They want you to have a broad general understanding of various disciplines. That's where courses like MBA come in. So even if let's say a BTech, I'm a technical guy, but I'm going to go and work in a company. Even if I'm a civil engineer, I'm going to be working with an organization. Whether I'm a computer engineer, I'll be working with a certain organization. So a broad understanding of how the businesses work, how the entire format of business work, how finance works, how let's say HR works, how sales works, to understand how exactly customer service works, the entire understanding of the disciplines, and in-depth understanding of your specialization. So that's the kind of funnel approach the corporates are looking for. But this is as far as your technical skills are concerned. Now, when they are looking for you as what we're talking about, soft skills and behavioral skills, a lot of you mentioned there. Social skills, knowledge skills, life skills, absolutely must. Knowledge and experience in one particular domain. Now, this becomes very interesting because till a few years back, till as recent as 3 to 4 years back, there used to be something which was very interesting. People used to say, I'm a fresher. And this was a very interesting term, which a lot of, when I started my career, I used to describe myself, a lot of, our generation has used to describe it till 3 to 4 years back. We used to say, I'm a fresher, and suddenly I was exempt from any expectation of experience. Unfortunately, that's not true for your generation. You're going to go in saying, okay, I've just passed out or I'm waiting for my result, but you're still not expected to be a fresher. Hence, you will see there is a lot of focus in the course recent curriculums on corporate experience. Either you're doing projects or you're getting internships or you are working with different organizations. What we are definitely trying to do here is work around to understand that you already know something about the industry and how to work in the industry, right? So while they understand you're new, you won't know about my company, but I want you to have worked somewhere. So one thing which MBA now does, which a lot of graduation programs do, but an MBA does very exclusively in your 2 months internship and a lot of live projects with the industry that you get to work around that. Right. So these are a couple of things that you really, really need to work on and understand as the expectation of what the company or industry looks from you. Just a second. So primarily, this is the keyword. So friends, one thing which I'd like to tell you here is that India has had 37, that's the latest data I read, 37 unicorns. You know what's a unicorn? Besides the fairy character in the business world, what is a unicorn? I guess Shark Tank has made it very popular. Can I get a quick definition in the chat? What's a unicorn in the business terms? A unicorn in the business terms. Okay, yes or no in the chat. In case you're not aware, just write a no. If you're aware, write a yes. Rosie, can you check the rights of the annotation, please?
Yes, I've told the backend team to go through it. I'm just
yeah. So I think all they have to do is
really
that's okay.
sorry.
You should probably go advanced options and just change the thing there. Okay, Ria says no. Okay, so by the way, there are a unicorn is a billion-dollar business, which is a small startup which crosses the $1 billion mark. Right? India has had 37 unicorns within last 1.5 to 2 years. And we have had 36 unicorns in nearly a decade before that. So you can see the whole shift. Now, the difference here is it doesn't mean that all of you will complete your course and start your own businesses. I'm not saying that that's the only way going forward. Unfortunately, that's what people think. Entrepreneurship means that I start my own business, I start running my own business. What they're basically looking for and what it means is a mindset. That's what corporates are looking for. You work for my organization, but what I primarily am looking for is a mindset that when I give you a responsibility, when I give you a department, you will be as creative as you would be if it was your own. You will be problem solving, you will be using design thinking, you'll be using empathy, and you'll be working with people. So we are talking about entrepreneurial mindset. All of you would have heard this term. If you have ever been in any business seminar, VUCA is a very, very popular term for the last 15 to 20 years in the business world. Was introduced, we'll give you a quick background, Prince. It was introduced by American Army after the downfall of Soviet Union. Because till the Cold War, there was a very clear enemy, USSR. Now there was no USSR, so enemy was everywhere. So they called it a world which was volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Okay, breaking news, which I believe all of you should already have it. is last 2 years, this is what the business world has become. Right now, what the organizations now are looking for is not someone who says, I've done this degree for three years, 4 years, and this internship, that internship. They're looking for someone who has a vision for themselves, for the organization, who have an understanding of the business, complete business, not just your domain, clarity on what exactly giving an output and result means, and agility and flexibility to move around. Right. So these are the kind of skills that they are looking for. So entrepreneurship isn't a job, it's a mindset. And this is the VUCA mindset that the companies are looking forward. And you will see your interview questions will be very different from the interview questions the previous seniors had, because they'll be more focusing on where do you see yourself 5 years down the line. And when they say that, that's a very classic question, but what they're looking for is an answer which will answer to the changing scenario. They're looking for more someone who's open to learning and flexible and moving forward, rather than saying, I'm going to be a senior manager 5 years down the line, which people traditionally used to say. It doesn't work anymore, right? So they're looking for fresh blood. They're looking for youngsters. They're looking for people who will come with a new perspective. So the business today is really banking upon what's the new that is coming up. Right. So like I've already said, entrepreneurship, unicorn startups are really on the rise, which means that the companies in general, even the established firms, are now open to new ideas. We want fresh blood to compete with these new startups which are coming up. So the expectations from you is extremely high, what they're looking forward to. Right. So certain change in skills post-COVID has been ability to navigate disruption, strong communication, innovative. All of these skills we have just looked at. Right? When we looked at the video, when we looked at your skills, all of these skills have been there. Now, what we're going to talk about is we're going to do a small activity here for only 2 minutes. That's what it's going to take. I need a quick yes in the chat to know how many people will be responding. And this activity is going to bring point home and bring us to a very, very important thing, which is so far, this is what company wants. Now, the question is, what should you do? Okay, brilliant. Lot of yeses coming in there. Awesome. Okay, so 2 minutes you will get. I'll change my slide. There will be a set of instructions, around 20 instructions on the screen. The test, it's a mental agility test to see how fast can you resolve them, right? Let's see how good at problem solving all of you are. And here we go. Just a second. Yes. Here we go. This is your mental agility test, and you got 2 minutes starting now. And you'll write all your responses in the chat. Let's see how good problem solvers, how many great problem solvers we have here. Okay, people are really fast. They've already started working. Amazing. Great. Okay, we are already on question number 3. Awesome. Okay, you got 1.5 minutes. You got approximately 1 minute 30 seconds left. Okay, great. Some people are also sending me a private message, so the others don't get to see the answer. Awesome. Great. So I love the spirit of competitiveness. We did speak about that a while back. Oh, the smileys are awesome. This is really nice. Kopal at 144 you're sending pastries. It's gonna be very distracting for everybody. I don't think so everyone would have had their lunch so far. Okay, great. 40 seconds left. I know time flies. Rosie, a quick check. Is the answer going to be there?
Sure, sir. No, sir. No, ma'am, he won't be there. So
okay,
you can complete the whole session again.
Okay, great. We've already reached 20 seconds left. Come on, let's see how fast Jesus and Mary can go. We've got 13 seconds left. Wow, a lot of high I have. So people have reached 15 already. 2, 1. Okay, so stop. Please stop down. Please stop. So let's see. So I guess a lot of people have reached up till checking the multiples of 9 and they're still writing down. Okay, great. So here's my question. When I ask you to solve this within 2 minutes and as fast as you possibly can, right? Uh, okay, so try. I know you are in the lead, but you have to. You can stop doing it now. Absolutely, we've stopped. Time is up. So here's my question: that when the moment we put the screen on, what was your first reaction? Write in the chat. A quick response from everyone. The moment you saw the instruction is 2 minutes, complete as many as you can. You challenge of being the fastest problem solver, and I put the screen on. What was the first thing that you guys did? What was the instant reaction? So many questions. Okay, yeah, yes, that's a very, very honest. But that thought should have triggered something in your mind. And here's my question. Read the first question and started working on it. Okay, Nandini says that. Kopal says so many questions in such less time. Absolutely, Kopal. And that's exactly what the working life is going to feel like. So much time, work, and I don't have time, and my boss doesn't understand. Right? So that's what work life is going to feel like. Okay. So most of you have the same thought. So many questions and what to do, right? So let's go back to the previous slide for a minute. Right? The instruction says very clearly, read the instruction very clearly. You have 2 minutes to complete the following test of mental agility. Read all the instructions before doing anything else. Almost 20 questions done. Thank you, Aprajita. Awesome. But there is a difference in almost and complete. And the difference in question number 20. Read the last question, ladies. Read the last line. So what do you guys think now? What is the first thing you should have done the moment you got the list in front of you and your brain said, woof, 20 questions in 2 minutes? What's the first thing you should have done? My brain hurts. Yes, Prajita, it does eventually after this activity. And absolutely. See, this is what is required. Traditionally, this would have been the best mindset which you guys did. Got the work, start from day one, and just go through the list and be done. We are looking at creative problem solvers. We are looking at people who can get most in the least time. Multitasking, luckily for you guys, doesn't mean that I'll be doing 10 things together. That was the definition of this term when we were in the corporate. The multitasking in today's date means I'll pick up, prioritize the high important task, understand it, and figure out a way of doing it in the fastest possible way. So, friends, the skill that you need friends, the skill that you need is the skill of being proactive, right? Don't just follow the instructions blindly. Don't just go by exactly what is expected out of me. Okay, this is my KRA, blindly start doing it. That's not entrepreneurial mindset. Entrepreneurial mindset says, okay, I need to do these 20. How can I do it faster? What does these 20 actually entail? Let me understand. Because entrepreneurial mindset is a problem solving mindset. I identify a problem and I resolve the problem. So the first thing that you need is this is the most important skill, which is being proactive. And unfortunately, no training, no textbook, no one will tell you this is what is required because this is so ingrained, it's expected you will know it. Because once you are in the corporates, you will see only those who are proactive survive. Those who are not, do not survive beyond a certain line, right? So when we're talking about being proactive, this is what I mean by it, that my life and career are a product of values, not feelings, decisions, not the conditions, and actions, not situations. And this is where taking control of your career comes into picture. And that's what the corporates are looking for. And for this, what they see, the thing is not, it's very easy to say this is what corporates are looking for. But the question is, before you get into the corporate, you need to understand how does the corporate actually work? And what do we mean by a corporate? You know, it's a big multinational. You start going and start delivering on your specific domain of expertise. But the question is, how does the entire machinery work? What does the term business actually mean? Right? What do they mean by a KPA? What do they mean by a KRA? What do they mean by a turnover? What is it that is expected out of me beyond just churning out the daily routine activities? How can I contribute to the bigger picture? And only those who contribute to the bigger picture make it to the top end of any organization. or any industry. You can get into an NGO. Unless and until you're contributing to the bigger picture of the NGO, you'll not make it to the top, right? And the higher you go, the more scope, flexibility, and power you get to make a bigger impact. It's not only just for your personal growth, it's about the impact that you can make, right? So this is where proactivity comes. And here is a list of 6 skills that can help you become industry ready in 2022. And this is the last thing that I'll be leaving you with, after which I'll be taking the questions if you will have any. The first skill is develop effective interpersonal skills. Be in as many co-curricular activities as you can. And this is again somewhere where we see, because I've taught both in normal colleges as well as management colleges, and I can tell you this is where the management courses differ, that throughout the course, there are even the classroom activities are all presentation and doing some kind of an activity, running a program, everything which will involve you working with a team. Right? So interpersonal skills, if you have not done so far, start getting involved in that. Enhance your communication skills. Ability to express what you want to say and get the result what you want to have. It's a 50% ability. If I can only say what I want to say, only when I understand how can I get the other person do what I want them to do is when the communication cycle completes. And this is a part of business communication, again, something which is a very important part of any management course that you will do, any MBA course that you'll do in the first trimester. And this is where business courses make a difference. It starts talking about enhancing your communication skills. Learn about strategic planning and thinking. So friends, here's the challenge. If I don't know how my business works, I can't strategically plan. Right. I cannot design a strategy if I don't know exactly how market works. If I don't know how to study my competition, if I don't know what 4Ps are, if I don't know exactly how do I plan the launch of the new product, what is the marketing strategy and marketing research methodology I should use? So that is where understanding business, irrespective of your background, comes into picture. Practice problem solving and decision making. A very common question you're going to be asked, give me an example in the last 6 months or 1 year, one problem that you have resolved on your own, or one place where you had to take a very difficult decision. A very common question everyone is asked after 5 years down the line. This is the next question that is asked. Develop a global mindset. Guys, it's no longer, the idea is no longer that you're going to be working in a company or in an MNC in India, sorry. Even if you're working in an organization which exists only in India, your competition can come from anywhere across the world. Your clients can be from anywhere across the world. And that's what has been, really, it has grown in the last 2 years to a huge extent. A lot of organizations are coming up realizing that I have a bigger scope of clientele than what I have in the country. So develop a global mindset. And last of all, master technical and business skills. So whatever technical area domain you want to specialize in, it doesn't have to be a business domain. It can be a very, very technical domain, right? Know inside out of it, be on the top of the game, but also know how that technical skill fits into the business skill. Have a business IQ as well. So these are 6 core skills which are extremely important for anyone in today's day and age to make it in the industry of any sort. I'll not just say a corporate, but I'll say industry of any sort. Whether you're going to start your own thing or whether you're going to be a part of a different organization, bigger organization, join your family business again. This is something that will help. So this is what I wanted to share with you as far as, or we thought of sharing with you as far as industry new requirements are concerned. Right. So at this stage, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and open the floor for any questions that you may have. And I'd like to first start by thanking everyone for being such a participative audience. Right. Usually cameras are switched off and I get really scared. But today people were there in spite of the switched off camera. So I must really acknowledge and appreciate that. So wonderful meeting all of you. So now the floor is open for any questions. You can write in the chat, or if you want to, you can unmute and ask. Please go ahead. So I know not all of you will be able to, unmute, but you can write in the chat. Any questions regarding anything? Any decision around which college, why MBA, why not MBA? What do I do? I'm doing this specialization. Okay, I think I have a question. Aprajita says, ma'am, there are a few instances while working where you have made a decision where it might affect your career or job you're working for. Absolutely. Even if you know how to go around the problem, I don't know how to express my views or the correct solution. So how to be confident when proposing a solution? Okay, Aprajita, you've asked a very interesting questions. In fact, this is a training that I give that I give very often to even senior level management. So this is not just your problem. This is with people with 10, 15 years of experience. They're like, okay, I've got a wonderful idea. How do I pitch it? Right? So this is what you do. Never pitch the solution. That's the thumb rule. Never sell the solution. Always sell the problem. Only when the person realizes the problem exists, they agree with you on that, they will then be open to listening to your solution, right? It's a basically four-step formula, if I remember it correctly. The first one is tell them exactly what is the current problem. Second problem is a project I can take notes if you want. Otherwise, you'll have to attend my 12-hour training on effective communication to get that. Okay, the first one is, identify in very clear words, express the problem. And the problem should start in the form of a question with what and how. What do we need to do to improve our productivity? How can we ensure that the clients, there's a repeat clientele in the next, the clients come back to us? Any question, right? Or something as simple as how do I ensure that my marks in the next semester are higher than what they are now? Right? Or what or a how question is a problem statement. It's a question statement. And the next thing you do is tell the person you're presenting the problem to, what will happen if this problem is not resolved? If this doesn't get resolved, if the same clients don't come back, we'll have to invest double the amount in more advertising and getting new clients, right? What will happen if this problem is resolved? That's a third step. Then you give them the rosy picture. Okay, this is the change that will happen once we resolve this problem. And finally, you tell them, now I know how to resolve this problem and how to reach the destination. See, it's a GPS approach. You identify where you are, you tell them exactly where you want to be, and then you tell them the solution, the route in between, right? So I hope, Aprajita, I've answered your question. It's a very simple four-step approach, but yes, it needs a lot of planning. We can't just walk into someone's office and talk about it. Tanisha says, ma'am, the general perception is that MBA should be done after work X, but what do you think? Is work X important, or can we do it right after bachelor's too? So Tanisha, very interesting question. And yes, that's something that is there in the market a lot. And there are a lot of MBA colleges like ISB, I'm in Bangalore, I'm Calcutta, who really take people only there, like Harvard as well. They'll say you need to have 2 years of experience before you come into us. Now, the answer to this question lies in, why do you want to do an MBA? And what's your previous degree, and what is the industry you want to get in, right? So certain places, so if you are getting into as a complete novice who's not worked before, and depending on what kind of, if you're not even clear which kind of industry I want to get in, it's always good to go for an MBA first. If I've done a bachelor's in, let's say, a BCom, right? And as a BCom, I have a certain background in finance, but I really don't know what to do next. How exactly do I get in? How do I get a good package? How do I get into, where will my skill set fit in? In that case, it's very good to do MBA right away, right? Because the good thing will be not just do an MBA, but do an MBA from an institute which provides you a lot of industry exposure, right? Where you can go and work in the industry, do a lot of projects online. So you build your experience while you're doing your MBA. And then you have a much clearer version of that. Now, if you're someone who knows exactly what I want to do, exactly the kind of domain I want to get in, and your graduation helps you get into, let's say you want to get into consultancy, your graduation course helps you get into consultancy job, then do that job for 2 years, then get into an MBA. So if you have a clarity where you want to head, then go for that job. But usually you will not get paid really well if you get straight after MBA, and it will be a very executive level profile right at the beginning level, where you'll have to, after MBA, you're going to start exactly where a fresher after MBA does. So I always recommend people to complete their MBA unless and until they're very clear where they want to be. I hope, Tanisha, I've answered your question. Right. So any other questions here? I know we are running out of time here, but if we got 1 more minute, any other question? Ria, over to you. Any question that you want to possibly ask? So Rosie, that's from my side. It's 2. We're still open to any question. Okay, there's one. Aprajita, ma'am, how do you improve your leadership skill? Aprajita, by being in leadership positions, you need to participate in everything that's happening. Leadership doesn't mean that you have to be only the boss all the time. Even as a team member, you can be a leader. So if there is any group activity happening, participate in it. The first thing is how to get along with a person I do not like. The day you are able to work with a person you don't really get along that nicely with, you've already started developing leadership skills, right? So that's there. So, ma'am, can we pursue MBA after English honors? Is it viable idea? Absolutely, Ashnya, if I'm pronouncing your name correct. MBA doesn't need any specific graduation. Any graduation, and then you can go ahead for an MBA. Absolutely fine. Right. So, any other questions? Welcome. Otherwise, over to you guys.
Ma'am, I do have a question.
Yeah.
So, these days there's a lot of specializations and specializations available in the MBA. So let's say, for an example, what would you recommend, doing MBA in digital marketing or simply marketing? What provides us with a broader horizon?
It depends on what you want to really do. Both of them have their own, set of skills that they require. If you get into digital marketing, first you need to understand what is digital marketing. A lot of people get into digital marketing without knowing how is it different from traditional marketing, right? So that's one thing which I'll say. The other thing which I'll say is don't take this call based on what I'm saying or anybody else will say. So digital marketing is definitely the new big word, buzzword. A lot of MBA colleges are providing it. But there are two things that you should keep in mind. Number one, if you're not clear, get into an MBA first year of your general MBA where you don't have any specialization. Do a lot of projects. This is what I tell all the students. Do a lot of live projects, digital marketing projects. Digital marketing, luckily, you can do freelance projects online as well. Right, you can go somewhere and do a freelance project and get an experience in that. And by the end of first year, before your summer internship reaches, you should have at least 2 or 3 projects in both the domains. So knowing where you want to go, right? Yes, anything these days has a word digital with it and feels like this is where I should go. But what is really important is, do you really want to build your career in that line, right? That's there. And anyways, if you've done marketing MBA, don't be disheartened. You can do a digital marketing course anywhere online. Google gives it for free. So that's not the end of the world. But what is important, of course, when you do it from your college, there's a different quality of knowledge and experience that you get. But I'll recommend pursue courses, projects in both of them, and then pick up where you really want to go in. Ma'am, I'm currently pursuing bachelor's in vocational studies in college, and I have heard a lot of people that after this, you will have difficulty with pursuing MBA. So, ma'am, what is your take on the same? Anshika, MBA is Masters in Business Administration, and anyone can be a part of a business, and anyone can run a business. You do not need to be a BCom or a BBA or a BTech to do that, right? So doesn't matter what people are saying. MBA can be done through anyone. That's why they don't have any specialization requirement. Otherwise, they would have put a cap, right? So I have seen people with BTech civil engineering coming and doing an MBA in marketing, or in HR, or in finance. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about that. What is really important is that you know why you're doing an MBA. Your previous graduation will not cause a problem. Don't worry, enough jobs come from all the people. When somebody comes, as a company comes to an MBA or college, they come for an MBA graduate. They don't come, very few of them come for BCom MBA because they're a very specialization. I want only in finance. Like Deloitte will say, I need MBA in finance, or EY will say, or BCom and MBA finance, or EY will say, I want only BTech and MBA finance, because they have certain very specific requirements. But most of the 99% of the companies will say, I need an MBA in a certain specialization, which you should have had, right? Ma'am, okay, next one is, ma'am, please, can you give a brief on the doorway to MBA in abroad? Ashya, I'm sorry, we don't have time for that, but I'll recommend you to connect with some consultancies which help you conduct that abroad. Nowadays, YouTube also has a lot of Harvard or Princeton MBA students uploading their videos. How did I apply? How to go through that? I'll recommend doing that. And going to the website of these colleges where you're interested in doing your search there. I don't have the time to go into details, but best thing would be to connect with, let's say if you're going to plan to go to UK, British Council will be a very good place to start your search from, right? You're trying to go to MBA, American Council, it will be a very good place to start your search from. They can give you more, say, certified counselors who can tell you how to apply, what to apply, and you can connect directly with the student union of these colleges as well. They can give you tips, right? So that's I believe that's all the questions, and I've successfully covered them. Anything else? Over to you, Rosie and Ria.
Sure, ma'am. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here and for your time. Actually, I'm so honored that every time I hear from you, it's just like treat to me, and I feel so happy about it. Thank you for your patience, ma'am. I really want to say that I'm really sorry what happened on the screen. So, but I'm really sorry about it. And thank you so much, ma'am, for answering for all the answers that you have given. I remember when I was getting all these, what is MBA, what is PGDM, like how we can proceed, what is the process. When I was learning, I come to know that, all that 15 years of experience that all of you have, that academic years of 15 years, that's absolutely fine. उसमें मस्ती मजाक खेल कूद सब कुछ होता है. Marks कम हो जाए ज़्यादा हो जाए, it doesn't matter to you. But these 2 years of PGDM or MBA program is where you guys gonna learn. You will understand what capabilities do you guys carry, how strong you are, because corporate sector is something where you can just not go and then feel like morning 9 to 6 is done. No, you'll be having a lot of challenges, and I know मेरे से ज़्यादा रिचा मैम को बहुत अच्छे से पता होगा, because she takes the trainings and everything there also. So guys, prepare yourself. If you're if you have a mindset that yes, I want to do my PhD or MBA program and further, then get prepared for it. You will face many challenges, and that's good for you. It'll build you guys very strong, and you will be, wherever you stand, you can be a witness that yes, I have gone through this and I know how to tackle it, how to come out of it. So being a businesswoman or CEO or being an entrepreneur, you will understand the methods and the the strategy behind it, how you can cover up. So that's what ma'am was just talking about, industry.
Absolutely, Rosie. Just one thing
4.0.
I'll add towards the end is how do you select an MBA college is very important. Don't just go by what your friends are saying. Make sure that you look for the faculty, right? For example, in DSP, I know all the faculty is from the corporates or from IMs, right? So similarly, pick up your faculty. Always go through the faculty background. Faculty background matters a lot. The more the faculty is from the corporate or from some top-notch MBA colleges, the more quality will be there in the classrooms and in the project variety. The second thing you should look for is the alumni base of that particular college. So you can go on the LinkedIn, look at the alumni base, which are in the industry. For example, Ria asked about digital marketing. So if that's what's playing on your mind, so digital marketing, I believe DSV has some format of data analytics and digital big data and something. They do provide that kind of a course. So you want to go into marketing, you want to go into digital marketing, go to the alumni of that campus who has that specialization, connect with them, have a word with them. And through LinkedIn is the best and the most neutral way to connect. Say that I'm so and so looking at this particular campus, want to get an insight from you on that. So these are two very reliable sources, because this is not something anyone can fake a lie about. And the third thing will be to go for looking at the companies which are coming to the campus. That speaks volumes about the quality of campus office, right? So the companies and the kind of profiles they're coming from. Usually a lot of people get hung up on the package, and unfortunately what I've seen is it's not the package, it's the company and the job profile that makes a lot of difference in how you're going to grow, how fast you're going to grow in your particular profile. So look at that. Look at these three things. First will be the faculty background, second will be the alumni, connect with them, and the third will be the kind of companies and profiles which are coming to the campus, and that will help you shortlist on the right kind of college that fits your requirement, right? So that's pretty much from my side, without taking any further time, because I'm sure a lot of people will be getting hungry also. It's 2:10.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I sustain everything, whatever Richa ma'am has just said. And guys, take a right decision. Seriously, take a right decision. Keep doing investigations, like whatever you want to, certainly if we go and buy something outside also, we investigate. Ki Amazon mein kitna hai, bahar agar main in person jati hu to kitna hai. It's nothing, it's not material wise, it's something which is going to add in your career. So take a right decisions, guys. And from Delhi School of Business, we are honored to have such a group who gave the answers instantly. Thank you so much, Jesus and Mary College team, and Tanisha for coordinating so much, Ria for giving the introduction. So thanks a lot, guys. It's just happy to see you guys. Thank you for joining on time. Honored to have all of you. Thank you so much, Risha ma'am. You have a wonderful evening, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.